Do you feel like you're stuck or find yourself attracting the same type of relationships and negative experiences, or just not manifesting what you want in life? Welcome to Heal Your Story. I'm your host, Heidi. Here we discuss all things life, love, relationships, the relationship with yourself, and the stories we tell about ourselves and others. I help people get out of their busy heads and get back in touch with their heart space to learn self-love and help heal their story. I'm a heart space and relational coach, a holistic health practitioner, and author at HeidiDelaire.com and LoveWideOpen.com. Let's go hold some heart space together. Hey loves, before we jump into today's episode, I wanted to invite you, if you are at all stuck in life with whatever it may be, to check out the Heal Your Story Breakthrough Intensive. This is a 75-minute one-on-one deep dive to shift you out of being stuck where you are. All information is going to be in the show notes. You can check it out there. All right, let's get into the episode.
This episode is brought to you by the Weather Channel app. Did you know the app can help you forecast more than just the weather? With allergy tracking and flu risk mapping. So you know when to stay inside and load up on podcast. As well as air quality and UV indexing. So you know when to get outside, load up on sunscreen and podcast. Forecast more of what you love with the Weather Channel app.
How the hell did I end up here? Has that ever been a question you've asked yourself? Has it been your life? What are the choices we've made? What are the paths we've gone down that all of a sudden one day you look up and you're like, whoa, how did life go so wrong? And you might be at a loss at how off track you are. When did life totally get away from you? Do you even recognize yourself? And at what point did you give up on your hopes and dreams? And are you worried that it's too late to do anything now? Do you want to change? And if you do, where do you start? Sometimes when we start, we know we want change, we feel a little uncomfortable. But the second we make that choice that, yeah, I want things to change, we know that things are going to be better. So when we're no longer denying or suppressing, we're just really letting, the misery of where we are rise to the surface, it can feel a little bit overwhelming. And we have developed all sorts of ways to cope. We have become masters of denying and deflecting our own crap. When we look at ourselves and kind of go, ooh, yeah, I did that. Oh, I chose that. It can be a really raw and unhappy feeling. And that's pretty much why we've deflected it for so long. So you may even think, well, will I be trapped like this forever? No, you're not trapped. You are not trapped. This real, full, emotional, raw, uncomfortable feeling that you're having is like your first initial emotional disclosure to yourself that change can happen. It's where change actually does happen. It's that first step, being really truthful with yourself. And only when we stop lying to ourselves can real truth emerge from a space of inner truth. And when we're really truthful with ourselves in that inner space, really cool things can start to be created and happen and change for us. Change has been initiated somewhat on an energetic level. And the moment we really truly tune into our very current reality of where we are standing, and if we don't like it, and we decide we want things to be different, there is nowhere else to go but up from here. when we realize where we are standing and that it's time to make change, you can't really go backwards because you've decided right there, change needs to happen. Therefore, things will start to move forward. When we realize we finally want to make change, and sometimes we need to revamp a lot of things about ourselves. And we might think, oh, that feels overwhelming. Oh, I can do that. And we try and sometimes take on too much. Don't feel like you need to do a full 180 and a day. Little changes, even small moves towards a more positive outcome are going to start to make you feel better. Little tiny changes make a big difference in how you feel. And when you start to feel better, you start to adopt this perspective and look on life that, oh, making these little changes isn't so hard. It's not so bad. And you can keep implementing them. Our energy. And even if we're just focused on one area of our life, that we are evoking by that is going to lead to good thing in other areas of our life without us doing even a damn thing. So we'll start to attract all sorts of ideas, sorts of people, all sorts of inspirations and insights that will eventually reveal the next steps that you need to take. Just making that one little incremental change and thought of, I'm going to change this one thing for the better in my life. It starts a snowball effect. Universe, God, inner spirit, whoever you want to say, starts to listen. Oh, you're getting serious. All right. And ideas and inspirations start to get fed to you. The next thing you know, you're on a path that you never saw yourself on. You may think, it's too late. I didn't follow the path I wanted to. It's never too late. It's never too late to follow a passion. Will it potentially be too late to get to a certain point? Maybe. But it's never too late to make changes. And what if those dreams you had before aren't actually even relevant anymore? And if you let those go and just start following some passions you're feeling right now, you might find a whole new thing that you want to do. I often tell clients and friends and myself that don't lament on roads that didn't get taken or paths that you didn't go down. Because ultimately, it's the path you didn't go down, and you don't need to worry about that. You only need to worry about the paths that are now in front of you. You can't step back and go down. It's only a new path. That's all that is in front of you. So again, do not lament on that time wasted. I wasted time. Well, guess what? It all served you. All of the things that you have done, all of the things that you have chosen, where you've ended up, the things that you didn't choose and that happened to you, how can you look at them? How can you look at those things? Can you look at them without shame and blame or blaming another person, and look at them now in a way that, how did those events actually serve me? How did any of my choices serve me? How did this person's influence actually serve me to be where I am right now and the changes I want to make in my life? If you can turn it around and look at it that way, you may find that the changes you need to make are a little bit easier because you're going to let go of the motion that you're holding on to. You're going to let go of the emotion that is trapping you, that you just don't want to let go of. Like, well, that person did that and that made me choose this. And hey, well, okay, that happened. When you look at it as, how did it serve you? It allows you to know who you now want to be. You might want to try that as a little exercise, kind of stepping back and kind of looking at that in a way. As we're still looking at how the hell did I end up here? It is so important to own it. Own it. Yep, I did make that choice. Yep, I did end up here. Yes, I've been lazy. No, I haven't wanted to actually try and change. I haven't wanted to actually do that. Own it. When you're really truthful with yourself and you own it, you take responsibility. And when you take full responsibility, you are now standing in your power and only you can change things. This now taking responsibility creates a whole new energy and it starts things moving. And taking responsibility in our lives and that realization that, you know what? Ball is totally in my court always. I get to choose how things happen and I get to choose how I react. And how I react sometimes makes me choose the wrong things. So if we're aware of how we react, we can maybe choose again. By taking full responsibility of your past, you can actually then take full responsibility of your future. So I leave you with this. Change doesn't happen without action. Nothing will change unless you take a step in a direction. So if you're sitting there, standing there, looking out the window, saying, how did I end up here? How did my life turn out like this? Take a deep breath and tell yourself, I can choose again, and I choose right now to do this and do it. Don't hesitate. Don't let the emotion come in. Take a step to changing your life. Because there's always a new path to go down. And the next step is just the next right step. But you have to be willing to take it.
And if you're wanting help reducing your anxiety, taming hard emotions, building self-confidence, getting rid of the people-pleasing, stopping the anger, letting go of attachment, I invite you to jump on a Heal Your Story Breakthrough Intensive with me. Again, this is a 75-minute deep dive into the root cause of why you're stuck. These sessions have been amazing for my clients to help them shift out of stuckdom and get moving in the right direction again. All information will be in the show notes. Sending you lots of love. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Heal Your Story. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find me, my coaching services, my book, or book a Heal Your Story strategy session at HeidiDelaire.com. For other self-development articles, go to lovewideopen.com. And you can also follow me at Heidi Delaire or Love Wide Open on all social media channels. Thanks so much. Sending lots of love.